I will share details on uploading files to AWS S3 using Node.js. We will use Express library and multer library in Node.js. The files which we upload will be of types base64 and binary. And in AWS, we will be looking into IAM. User in IAM, we will be looking into user account and policy, how to create user account and how to create policy. In S3, we will create a new S3 bucket and add bucket permissions. We'll be using Postman as our client. First, we'll implement two APIs that can handle base64 and binary types. And once that is completed, we will move on to uploading files from Node.js to S3. I will install Express. First, I will create an API that will receive files that are encoded in base64 format. I will name this API as base64. I will have the port open. The port is 4000. I'm not sending anything in response. First, let's print the request body. I will create a post request through Postman. Connection refused. Let me start the server. Here I receive undefined. Let me pass the body. First, I am trying to check if I'm able to send data through request body. It's undefined here. Now I will add an express middleware to process the request body parameters. Now let's check. Now I can see the request body parameters. I need a file that is encoded in base64 format. So this is just a small image which has API server in it. It's of PNG format. Now we have to convert this image to base64 so that we can send that data through Postman and receive in Node.js. In order to do that, I will create a small program. I will read this file image.png and I will pass the parameter as base64. Now I can see the base64 encoded file, base64 encoded image. This is the base64 format of image.png, and image.png has API server in it, API server text in it. Now let me pass this content in this parameter. Let me copy it. we are we are now receiving the base64 string in the request body. Let me change this as base64 string just to be clear. We are receiving the base64 string here. Let's see how to view this file in the backend. In order to view the file, in order to check whether we are receiving the correct image file, let's convert the string back to image. I'm naming it as test.png. I have added the string here, and I will add the encoding as base64. Now we are expecting what we will expect is we will expect to receive the base64 string, and we will convert the string back to file which is test.png. We should see test.png here. Response is success. We can see test.png and we can see API server. So we have successfully received the base64 string and converted it to a file. This is good. Another thing which we have to remember is the content type of whatever we receive is important. We should know the content type. Currently we know this is PNG, but in real time we will not know that unless we are receiving it through the request. There is another way to identify the MIME type of a file that is encoded as base64 string. I will go back here. In this post you can see this code. We'll copy this code and we'll paste it here. If you check the first few texts in base64 string, this these strings indicate the MIME type of the of whatever that is encoded. In our case, these strings indicate that the MIME type is image/png. So let's get the MIME type as well. You can see that MIME type is image/png. We are now detecting the MIME type using the base64 string content itself. Now let's create another API that will handle file in binary format. Let me copy this. I will remove this code. In case of binary format files, we have to use the content type form data, and we'll have the key as my file and text as file. Now let's log some contents here. In case of transferring binary files, the files will be sent in the will be available in request dot files object. Let me send this file. Currently it's showing undefined. We need to add a middleware here to process form data related content types. We have For that we will import multer npm package. And I will add it as middleware here. If we go to multer documentation, they have offered many different uh, minor features in it, but we won't be using any of those. We can handle all of those configurations with our API itself. In this scenario, I am just accepting anything without restricting uh, any any specific inputs. Now let's check this API. Now you can see that Nodejs is able to detect the files that were sent in the request. So we have sent one file, that's why we are receiving one object here. Let's try to send more than one file. Now I have sent two files, so we are seeing two different files here. Let me just send one file. Let's work with this. Let me convert this file back to a file in backend and see whether the file that is sent is being received by the backend. In the request body, we can see the field name which is present here, and the original file name, mime type, and buffer. Buffer is the binary object. Let's convert this buffer to a file to verify its contents. This code is sufficient. Let me trigger this request. Original name. Now we can see the Docker file here. Let me just delete it and run it again. We don't have Docker file here. We are uploading Docker file. So if I open, I can see the contents of the Docker file. Now we have completed the uploading files from a client to Node.js part. Let's move on to the AWS part. In AWS, we will go through IAM and S3. First, let's create a user account in IAM, and then let's move on to creating policy. This is my AWS account. First, I will go to IAM. First, I will create a policy. I will select S3. I will select all actions. Then in bucket, here I have to enter the bucket name. For that, let's go to S3 and create a bucket. We'll create a bucket. I will create in US East region itself, and I will ignore other settings for now. Same name exists. So we have a bucket Saturday bucket 1 2, and let's go to properties. Here we have the Amazon resource name. Let's copy this, and we can paste it here. The bucket name can be entered here. Okay, I have to type it. Now we have added both the configurations. Let's click next, and I am creating this policy specific for this bucket. I have created the policy. Now I will go to users. Creating the user here. I will attach the policy. Now I have created the user. We have to download the access keys. I will select third party service. Understand. This is my access key. I will use this access key programmatically to upload the file from Nodejs. So let me show you. I will use the access keys in my Nodejs program to upload the files received from the client to S3. I won't upload the file directly, but I will just transfer the data that is received from client to S3. And I will be deleting these keys once I complete the recording. I will download the CSV file. Done. Now I will go to S3 permissions. Currently all public access is blocked. I will enable it. This is fine. We'll get back to this bucket policy after finishing couple of steps. Now let's see how to upload file from Node.js to AWS S3. We need to install AWS SDK for Node.js. Let's go to this link. Let's open this link. We have to install this npm package. Let me create a new file. We can use this code snippet to build our logic. I will copy this code. We need the first two objects. Let's add the credentials here, and we need to specify the region here. I have added the access key and secret key. Let's check the region. Using this logic, we'll be able to open a connection from Nodejs to S3. Now let's write the logic to upload a file from Node.js to S3. You can see the code that can be used for uploading a file here. Let's use that. Let's separate this code. We have the bucket name, key and body. Key is the name of the file. Body will be the content of the file. Let's externalize the key and body. Let me add try catch block to the upload logic. This is fine. I will use this object here. Let's send the file object to the S3 upload method. I will add some random values to file name, and we receive the MIME type as well. So let's send the MIME type. Let's send the content of the file. I will add async await here. I will add math.random just to add some random number to the file name. Currently we are passing the file name, MIME type and buffer. Let me add MIME type as a parameter here. We need to pass content type. This is fine. Let's run the code. Let me trigger this. We are receiving an error. Bucket name is not defined. Let's trigger it again. We are receiving access denied error. Let's go to the policy. We need to add one more value to the policy. Here we have resource. we need to add this value as well to indicate that this policy will be applied to any resource under this bucket. I have saved it. Let's check again. Now the upload is successful, I think. Let me check the S3. You can see one file got uploaded here, and we'll try to open it. You can see the URL here, but it's showing access denied. To fix this, we have to go to permissions. Let me go to permissions, and we need to set the bucket policy. We'll go to policy generator. Here we can select get bucket, get object. We have to select get object, and we will just copy paste the bucket ARN. We need to add slash star, generate policy, save. Now this is saved. Let's try to access that object. Now the file is getting downloaded. Let me go here. You can see the file got downloaded. Let me open it. We are able to see the contents of the file. Right now we are able to upload a file from Nodejs to S3. We are just uploading a binary file. Let's try to upload the base64 file as well. In order to upload the base64 file, we need to do one additional step. We need to convert the string into buffer. We have converted the string to buffer, and we can pass the buffer object to the upload method. We can send the mime object and the name of the file. So we have to construct the name of the file here. We know the content type. The content type is image/png. We need to construct the name of the file using the content type and some random numbers. Let me write a logic to generate file name. I will get the mime type. This will be our file name. Let's trigger the API. We are receiving an error. We need to send the MIME type to this method. It shows like the file got uploaded. Now let's go to S3 to verify. We can see the file here. Let's view it. We are able to see the uploaded file here. So far we have seen how to upload a file from client to Node.js and from Node.js to S3. We have seen how to upload two different types of file formats. One is base64 and another is binary. We have also learned how to set up IAM, user account and policy, and also set up bucket permissions. We have used Express library and multer library. If you have any doubts in whatever I have presented here, please let me know. One final change, I will externalize the credentials that are present here. I will create a file. I will import it here. Let's check if this works. The file got uploaded. Let's check if this file name exists in remote, in bucket. Yeah, the file got uploaded. Let's view this file. I'm able to view this file. I will create a new Git repository and upload this source code into that repository except for this env. You can add these properties and then start using the code.